Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Clean It. A few years ago, I was helping to lay a new concrete driveway in my mother's house. Some of the runoff water ran into the neighbor's side pathway, leaving a slight discoloration. A simple wash would have removed this, but the neighbor complained and told us we had to clean it up. Now this is fair enough. But they weren't very polite in asking us about it, especially when we had no idea it had happened. Anyway, I agreed to clean the path for them. So I got out the power washer and started at the front of the house. This path has not been cleaned in a long time, so the power washer was making a noticeable difference. Up the path I ran, doing a very thorough job of getting all the years of grime off, including the slight concrete slurry from our work. I continued up to the point where the runoff started, and then I stopped. I left a perfectly edged line that really made it obvious just how filthy the path was before I washed it. Up it went, all the way up the side of the house, plain to see. I'd cleaned up every last bit of concrete runoff and made the pathway shine, until it didn't. They couldn't really complain, as it wasn't my job to clean the entire path, and I had cleaned up all the concrete runoff as agreed. My mother doesn't get along with them at all, so she was happy with the result, even though she didn't originally want me to clean it for them. The next story is called Take It Home. Working in a small company in the Netherlands as a warehouse manager for over 3.5 years. I'm leading a team of 5 people doing the physical work, and I basically take care of all administrative work regarding import and export. During 2020, some people were forced to leave, and their jobs were divided among other staff. Some left without leaving important information regarding their work, which left us with a lot of extra work. Because of that, our boss made it so that everyone needed to assign someone as their deputy. This way, there would always be someone to do the work needed. I had a guy from our warehouse, I'll name him Steve, who I taught how to arrange transport, receive stock, etc. Steve would do that when I was free. In the beginning, I had not yet taught Steve everything, and he would not respond to incoming emails on my computer. During this time, all our old computers were replaced by new laptops, so everybody could work from home if necessary. One day I had taken a day off, and an email came in from sales, who were working at home, with an urgent order to be taken care of. A piece of equipment needed in a machine of a customer had to be sent the same day to be delivered the next. The machine stopped working, costing the customer a lot of money. Transport had to go through customs, and that was something Steve had not learned yet and didn't respond to. The next day, my boss was angry at me that I didn't respond. That's what the laptops are for. I told him that Steve could not do his job without it. He said that it is my job and not Steve's. Okay then. Forward a few weeks and I take another day off. As told, I took the laptop home. I told Steve that I would do that and to tell everybody who wanted something that he wasn't able to help and to send a mail to me. On this laptop are logins for websites to arrange transport, templates, SOPs, etc. I planned to go to the beach with friends and left the laptop in the car. My phone was exploding with calls in the morning because Steve did not have a computer. Other people didn't know where to find information needed to arrange transportation and more. I never responded to the calls because a day off is a day off. When I got back the next day, my boss was furious. When I told him that I did exactly what he told me to do, he immediately told me to leave the laptop at work the next time and to share important information with others in case something happened with it. The third story is called Start Early. This took place over the past 2 months. I work in a large metro city, on a team that does maintenance on our infrastructure, keeping our plant running and keeping our customer service running. We all have a company truck that we take home every day and start our day at 7:30 every morning, 5 days a week. Now I live the furthest from our service area, 45 minutes to an hour's drive without traffic. And there's always traffic. That being said, some days it takes me 2.5 hours to get to my first job in the mornings. My supervisor knows this and was okay with it as long as I was en route to my first job by 7:30. Then we had a restructuring of the big bosses. They wanted us on our first job by 8:30. I emailed my supervisor about it, and he assured me that I was fine and he was aware of my drive time. A few weeks pass and he tells me the new big bosses aren't happy about my arrival times in the mornings and that I would need to leave earlier. I asked him to email that to me so I can remember to set my alarm earlier. I really asked for it emailed to me so I'd have documentation. And he does. Now I'm kinda mad because I don't want to have to get up earlier and not get paid to drive into our area. So I start looking into our policies. Our policy on time recording is pretty strict and states if we are operating company equipment, my truck, we are working. So I start leaving at 6 every morning, giving me ample time to get to my first job by 8:30 and starting my time as soon as I started my truck, giving me an hour and a half overtime every day. I knew something was going to be said about this. When my supervisor showed up on me, asking me why I was clocking that overtime every morning before my shift, I handed him his email telling me to leave earlier, and the attendance policy with the section highlighted. He looks up at me, grinning from ear to ear, and compliments me on finding a loophole in the big boss's new rule. I haven't had another thing said to me about my overtime or anything else about me not being on job by 8:30. I'm still not happy about waking up earlier, but the 7.5 hours of overtime a week is nice. The last story is called If You Don't Like It. I worked at a small shop, serving an electrical apprenticeship. The shop manager and I had a few run-ins, and I assume he disliked me as much as I disliked him. I had refused to do a very messy job and told him he didn't pay me enough for that. Then he wanted me to lie to a customer to make an issue they were having sound like it wasn't our fault. I refused and told him if he wants to lie about it, he was going to have to drive out to the job site and do it himself. He told me to keep my mouth shut and did come out. I think the only reason he didn't fire me was that I was by far one of the most efficient and versatile employees. This fact had me questioning how much I was getting out of this apprenticeship and was passively looking around for another shop to apprentice at. My wage scale was structured and I got regular raises bringing me closer to a journeyman's level over my time as an apprentice. So I had to find someone that would sign up to complete my apprenticeship as well as want to hire me. One of our better journeymen had gone to another shop and had introduced me to the owners. We had talked about what it would take to get me to move. Things were progressing, but nothing was committed to at that point. Cue the Malicious Compliance. It's my evaluation and race time. My manager calls me up to the conference room. He explains that due to my performance and the shop being in a slow period, he was not going to give me the 25 cents an hour raise as my contract said. But he was going to give me $1 more an hour once I became a journeyman. We argued, and I told him if I can't trust you for a quarter, why would I believe the dollar? The argument ended in him telling me if you don't like it, you can always quit. Oh really? I picked up the conference room phone on the table in front of us and called the shop I had been talking with. I asked the owner if I brought my tools over today, would I have a job? After a quick and uncomfortable discussion with his partner, he said yes. I informed my manager I resigned effective now. I loaded my tools up, punched out and went straight to work that afternoon. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.